So you want to be an academic weapon. Well, not to brag, but you've come to the right place. Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you miss me, because I missed you too. So, this video is very specific. I believe that this will help people that are gonna go through a massive educational thing, whether it's exams, competition, presentations. There's a jillion videos like this on YouTube. There's so many study tips and how to study, etc. What makes this video different than the other ones? I'm not gonna give you theories. You're just gonna listen and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna apply it, but then you're never gonna apply it. No, I'm actually gonna give you things that if you get up right now, go do them, I guarantee you that you're gonna see a big difference. When I went to university, that is when my grades skyrocketed and I shifted the way I was studying, and I actually learned the art of studying. So the first thing that you need to know is that there are different types of learners. So basically, when students don't actually know what type of learners they are and they use methods that doesn't work for them, studying doesn't get any better. This is what I'm going to introduce you to, the VAC model. It's written here that the VAC model, developed in the 1920s and later popularized by Walter Burke Barb, categorizes learners into three primary styles: visual, which is seeing; auditory, which is hearing; and kinesthetic, which is doing. When I first heard about this model, I remember our teacher went around the room and asked us, if you can put yourself in one of these categories, where would you put yourself? I had an immediate answer. I immediately said kinesthetic. I am 100% a kinesthetic learner, meaning I cannot learn by looking at someone doing something. I cannot learn by hearing someone telling me to do something. I need to do it myself. And that's how I memorize. See, in memorization, which is basically the biggest problem with students, when they have tons of information and they have to memorize everything, and they're like, oh, I keep trying to memorize, can't memorize anything. Are you memorizing according to your learner style? Because for me, when I was in high school, I memorized like everybody else. I was putting a paper in front of me, I was reading everything, and then I was saying it over and over again, but nothing stuck. That's why I did horribly in exams. But when I entered university and I understood that there is something called kinesthetic learner, what did I start to do? I started to actually read everything, yes, but then get a paper, write everything again, actually feeling myself writing the words, and that helps me memorize way better than just saying it over and over again. Students or learners who know exactly what type of learners they are, they utilize those information. Now, how is that going to help you? Basically, I'm going to put a link down below to where you can do the VAC questionnaire. So once you find which type of learner you are, search studying ways according to this learner type: visual, auditory, or kinesthetic. And believe me, the tools that you're going to find will help you way better than just randomly guessing, randomly studying without actually finding the type of learner that you are. Number 2, next advice: study buddies. Study buddies basically changed the way I study. It has given me so much motivation. I like to go by this quote: if you're the smartest person in the room, leave the room. And I apply this in any aspect of my life. There was very, very little instances where I was in a classroom where someone else did better than me. And I'm speaking about university. So I was like, damn, I need to find an environment where people are more motivated than me. I need somebody that I study with that I'm like, oh my god, he is or she is so much better than me. I need some competitiveness in my life. And that's where I discovered study buddy websites, study buddy Discord servers. The website that I'll recommend, there are two actually. The first one is called CoFocus. The next one is called FocusMate. These are websites dedicated to match you with somebody who is gonna study live on a session at the same time as you, not necessarily the same subjects, but just a random person around the world. So you match with this person, you study with them 1 hour, and then at the end of the hour, you talk about your progress. When I'm alone, when I study alone, I look at my phone, I get distracted. I'm not as motivated 10 out of 10 as I wish. But because I have someone in front of me, I can't slack off, I can't look at my phone because they're gonna catch me. It's like a moderator, like someone who monitors you, but in a non-creepy way. And if you think about it, when we were kids, our parent used to monitor us. Go do your homework. Let me help you memorize this. Let's go revise for your exam. But we're not kids anymore. So when we don't have anybody to hold us accountable, we slack off. But these study buddies help you to not slack off. I was on these websites for a while, but then I switched to Discord server. If you're familiar with Discord, it's an amazing platform where you can meet a lot of people. You can discover a lot of communities, and there are communities for studying together. There are two that I can think about. These two are very good study servers. So some people have social anxiety. They don't want to sit down live in front of someone. Even though you have the option to not open your camera, they just want a video in the background. This is where you go and search for study together or study buddy on YouTube. There are many videos. I'm gonna put them in the screen right now, on the screen, sorry. Basically, all they do is film them studying for hours and hours at a time, put the video in the background or in a corner, and pretend like you're studying with them. And believe me, psychologically, this will make you believe that you are in a motivated environment, in a competitive environment, and it will push you to study a lot. Also, it's really nice to hear about another person's goals. It motivates you to get up and chase your own goals instead of sitting in bed all day. So I definitely recommend watching those type of videos when you want to get up and study rather than just scrolling and doom scrolling on TikTok. Fun fact, I made a couple of study with me videos. I believe I made one when I was in the library, and I made one where I put a glass of ice in front of me, and when it melts, that's when I stop studying. If you guys want more videos like that, I can definitely make them. So comment down below if you want more videos like that. An extra bonus, these study with me servers and buddies, almost all of the time they use the Pomodoro method. If you're not familiar with the Pomodoro method, it is basically splitting your work to relax time. So for example, you study for 15 minutes and you take a break for 10 minutes. So they usually do this to give each other some time to talk, to relax, to drink water, get a snack, talk about what they did and their goals in the sessions, etc. It's a really good method to basically not just overwhelm yourself with work, because if you work for hours and hours back to back, it's also not good. You have to give your body, your mind some time to absorb the information, relax, eat something, hydrate, etc. So definitely search for Pomodoro method on YouTube. You're gonna get how people use it. So one of the biggest problems that students have is that they get overwhelmed. They see the mountain of homework, the long essay that they have to write, they get overwhelmed, they freeze in their tracks. Eisenhower method is basically my way of dividing my to-do list. Whenever I feel like my to-do list is too long, I can't start, the project is too big, I use the Eisenhower method. It goes like this. So you have to divide your paper or divide your to-do list into 4 squares. The first square, and it's the most important one, deadline/important. Maybe it's the exams. Maybe it's a homework that you need to submit by next week. Maybe it's a project. The second one is deadline/not important. Even though they're not as important, they are secondary priority. The third square, no deadline/important. Now we're getting to the things that you think are important to you, but they don't have a time limit. So you can wait on them, you can give them a month, 2 months, but they shouldn't come before the ones that have a deadline. And the last one, no deadline/not important. These are things that you can do anytime. You don't really have a time limit for them, but you still want to do them. They're still in your to-do list for a reason, but they can definitely wait until you finish everything on your to-do list. When you use this method, your huge to-do list, this project that's very scary to tackle, it doesn't become scary anymore. This next one is something that I do, and it was life-changing. The active recall method. So remember when I talked about memorizing, and I said that students, they have a bunch of information, they memorize it nonstop, and it actually doesn't help them, they don't memorize anything? Well, I don't do that. I actually do the active recall method. Basically, training your brain to remember what it's studying. Instead of just forcing your brain to gather as much information as possible in a short amount of time, you actually train your brain to realize exactly what it's studying and to do an active recall. It means to ask him questions and for him to answer the questions for you. Imagine I have a lecture. The lecture is 4 pages. There's so many information on the lecture, right? Number one, if you know anything about university studies, you don't memorize the lectures. This is the first mistake that students do. They memorize the lectures. Don't do that. You have to understand the lecture. You have to read it. You have to highlight, take important information, take definitions, take types of things, etc. So after I read the lecture and I understood it, I turn the information into questions. So for example, if paragraph 1 talks about the definition of a concept, I write question number 1. What is the definition of this concept? And I put bullet points. I don't put the entire paragraph. I take bullet points from the paragraph that are easy for me to memorize, and I put them. If I have like an example, I'm gonna put it on the screen right now. I'm just gonna fetch one of my old study documents that I still have on my laptop, and I'm gonna put it here on the screen. So as you can see on the screen, the lecture is questions, because I basically took the lecture and turned it into questions and turned it into bullet points. So after I did this, now I start memorizing. I memorize the questions, and then I try to let my brain recall what the answer is. It takes a little bit of memorization, and as I said, I am kinesthetic, so I actually write it to memorize it, and it helps a lot. Rather than my brain feeling fuzzy and looking at that big block of information in the lecture and me not memorizing anything, I just memorize the short bullet points, but this is how I use it, and it has helped me a lot. It is a little bit time consuming, because rather than just memorizing immediately, you have to turn your entire lecture into another document, but for me it worth the time, so I definitely recommend it. Next is the reward system. So I think the reward system is pretty universal. A lot of people use it, but I don't think they use it correctly. Basically, the reward system is you tell yourself, oh, at the end of this session, I'm gonna treat myself to a cake. At the end of this session, I'm gonna go play video games. But the problem is the rewards that people use, they are dopamine hits. So for example, that guy that tells himself, oh, after this I'm gonna go play video games, when he goes and plays video games, his attention span is stolen. He gets grabbed by the dopamine rush, and he plays video games for 7 hours while he did 25 minutes of the work. That's not how reward system work. Rewards needs to be not dopamine heavy. They need to be something simple. So instead of looking at your phone or going to play video games, which is something that you have to do after you finish working, not in the middle of it, I recommend simple reward like going for a walk, going to buy a snack, taking a breather, meditate, go talk with your friends, things that can relax your brain and give it a minute. Not more screens that are gonna distract you and gonna make you forget all of what you studied. That's not how reward system works. Speaking of that, this takes me to my next point, which is the environment. This is also has to do with psychology. It is proven that if you study in the same place, like if I stay in this room and study for hours and hours every day, I'm going to get to a point of burnout. I'm going to get to a point where my brain is going to get so bored, nothing I do is going to help it. And it happened to me before. So as soon as I feel that I've gotten into that burnout, I immediately change my studying environment. I go to the terrace. I go to the public park. I go to university. I go to the library. Believe me, if you put your brain in an environment where it's new, it's going to feel like it's doing something new, even though you're studying. But the information are going to feel fresher, they're going to feel better, and your brain is going to thank you. So definitely don't stay in the same place, change environment, change locations, thank me later. And finally, and this is the last point, use university resources wisely. The university libraries, they have so many valuable information that you might need, and you're not going to find in your textbook, you're not going to find in your syllabus, but you might find it in the university library. Another example is websites. I remember when I entered my university, we got access to the university websites, and after the first year, everybody stopped using it. It's because they told us it was outdated, which is true, but even the outdated lectures sometimes help you when you have no resources at all. If you study with a professor that doesn't send PDF, doesn't send everything, the resources of the last professor, which are outdated, they might have information that help you. So it's better than nothing. So I definitely use outdated resources from past professors to answer some questions in the new exams, and they work. That's it. That's the whole video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I shared with you some information that's going to help you become the academic weapon that you wish to be. If you have any questions, please comment down below. Like, subscribe, all of that. Also, I started posting poetry again on my social media, which I'm very excited about. I started my TikTok page and my Instagram page. It's going very well. So if you can go and follow me there for poetry content, I even might post like long form video poetry content. That's something I'm thinking about doing very soon. But I also love these chatty essay video type, lifestyle type. So I don't know. But if you guys want poetry content here, tell me as well. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!